they brought Tony Phil's solid gold background a little bit too much in
Yes.
the dance moves.
Yes.
Like twirling around.
Right.
And, you know, so I thought it was a bit, you know, you wouldn't see, you know, Bruce Dickinson or you know,
No.
Vince Neil when he wasn't the Vince Neil of today.
Well, I was going to say Vince Neil could never do a cartwheel now.
Long time ago. Yeah, long time ago.
And do some feel good stuff at in big old 4-0, you man.
Yeah. You know, so I thought that was a bit out of metal character, if you will. It was more having to do with solid gold. But hey, man, a man can move.
What's your favorite scary movie?
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end.
This is my boomstick!
Swallow this.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Arrow in the Head Show. Of course, Lance, my other host, the Arrow himself, Mr. John Fallon, and special guest, Mr. Manson Brothers himself, Chris Margetis.
So great to be here.
Oh, you sound so smooth. There we go.
Look at that. It's like a jazz singer, you know?
You guys working me through my audio issues has made me feel very soothing, I think, now.
So you are very soothing, man.
So
I need to go put on my silk underwear or something, you know?
I thought you already had them on. But
now I'm commando right now, so.
It is Sunday. What are you going to do, you know?
Exactly. By the way, if you haven't seen the Manson Brothers Midnight Movie Massacre or Midnight Movie
Zombie Massacre, Midnight Zombie Massacre.
Thank you. So yes. Pick a longer title next time.
It's a mouthful. Yeah,
if you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It's Wrestlers versus Zombie. It's old school. It could have came out of the 80s, really.
Yeah.
Chris is one of the leads, also one of the writers with Mike Carey, and it's good stuff if you like your old school horror.
It's a good Halloween watch. You know, the month of October, it's perfect for that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
It's a good time to check it out for the first time. So
we'll have a link to it in the description as well, so people can watch it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
So before we jump into Trick or Treat, 1986, Sammy Kerr, baby. What are you guys drinking?
It's the weekend, so I decided to go kind of brunchy. I've been drinking for about 13 straight days, so I'm toning it down slightly. I'm going with a screwdriver. So that's my drink of the day.
Nice.
So. Myself a beer. Buddy brought a few of these over when he came to visit a month ago. They're called Fest Beer Lagers by Green Bench. It's a brewing company in St. Petersburg, Florida. That's not too bad.
Nice.
I got this cool little, just came back from Rome, and she brought me this glass because
that's pretty cool.
I don't know.
Very cool.
Because I like that kind of shit. It felt very appropriate for today's episode because it's all metal, and this is as metal as I can get. So
yes.
Well, you know, I'm after the Halloween 5 episode where I was having old fashions the whole time, and then, you know, Lance and I revised the show, you know, in the edit and everything. I was watching it, and I'm like, I was getting on my own fucking nerves. If I don't know this guy, I want to beat the shit out of that guy. So I'm like, you know what, Johnny, you need to go softer. So I'm going softer, soft as you can go.
Kindler, gentler, John.
Yeah,
Corona.
In a frozen mug, of course.
Wow.
So I'm pretty pumped about today's show. So without further ado, cheers to you, gentlemen.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers to all of you. Thank you. Oh, always a pleasure, bro. And cheers to all of you.
Hello, my friends!
Hey! John, if you wouldn't mind, being that this is a Halloween favorite of yours, I think you should start it because I'm a little bit of a noob and I don't know where Margetis stands. So I think I'm going to let you start the roll, you know, roll the ball. We'll jump on.
Okay. We're going to talk about the 1986 Charles Martin Smith directed
Trick or Treat,
which is about heavy metal, you know, rocker dude in high school who gets bullied and stuff like that. And his favorite heavy metal singer star is Sammy Kerr, played by the great and late Tony Fields. Sammy Kerr passes on. He gets the last record that Sammy Kerr ever did, plays it backwards, looks like in the 80s, you know, during the whole Satanic Panic and the PMRC and what was their name? Tipper Gore, you know, called it rock, calling heavy metal rock porn. You know, that was a big deal. So he plays it backwards, and through that, he winds up bringing back the rocker, and he's, slash Freddy slash or a spinker, and he rocks hard and, killing peeps and having a good time, and that's it. I grew up as a headbanger. I grew up as a heavy metal dude. I was that dude with the long trench coat, and I had hair at the time, hair in my face, my yellow Sony Walkman, head down, listening to Maiden, listening to Judas Priest and Metallica. So when I saw the film in 1986, I definitely related to it. Although I wasn't like, Mark Price, his name's Eddie actually in the film, person that people picked on. I was more the person that people left alone. I know, Lance, you had never seen it, and you're not a metal dude. You're more like an old soul.
What I really love about the horror community is I do feel it's a band of misfits. I always think that's cool. For me, though, I find it funny because, I've been to a bunch of horror conventions. I've loved horror. I was watching this like suspiciously young age, these kind of movies. My parents, they didn't give a shit, and they're letting me watch whatever I want to at like 6. But that being said, I've never been a metalhead. I respect metal. I think it's a very labor-inducive kind of music. But I go to horror conventions and I don't fit in there. I'm the fucking misfit in the misfits. Everybody's like fucking leather coats and I talk about Maiden, and I'm just like, does anybody want to talk about Van Morrison? It's like I know that I don't belong.
Hey, why don't you buy some new ones?
Fuck off, you don't.
Everything about this movie is exactly for me. It's just in the style. Like if I made the movie, I'd be like, it should be like an Otis Redding fan, and it kills people with saxophone. Like that's my thing. I thought it was great. As I'm older, I find the bowling stuff harder to take. I got like real angry. It's a fucking 86 movie. Embarrassed in front of all the hot girls. He's like almost drowned in the pool. I got a little heated. I was just like, okay, but that's the kind of movie you want. You want to get like built up, and then when the bad guy comes, you're all in. So I have a bunch of notes. I would say, just to give my overall opinion, I had a great time. I think the only thing that didn't hit me was the music, but it's not for me anyway. Like I think I told you off camera once. I think my favorite thing about metal is it's such a tough genre, but it's by far like he's like eyeliner, his makeup, his shirt's open to a level I would never open mine to.
Oh, come on, dude.
That's saying something right there.
Yeah, right there.
He's like almost like leather bondage. And I was just like, I want to ask a question, guys. He's in this like little voice room with the shirt open. And he's just like making all these movements. I was like, okay. Yeah. But again, I'm laughing at it, but I'm having a good time. I'm not insulting the movie. It's just, I'm viewing it from 2022 as a non-metal fan.
It's a bit like Rob Halford, from Judas Priest. When I was in the 80s, when I was, a teenager or a kid, whatever, I never put the S&M thing together with Rob Halford. And it's only as I got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did he ever? You look back and you're like, how did I not know? But, in those days, we weren't exposed to that. It's everything was really on the DL and as a 25-year-old man, I look back and I'm like, how did I not see that? But, much respect to him.
You should be loyal to your hero.
So I have no history with it. I'm like Lance. I don't ever recall seeing it anywhere in the video store, which is shocking.
You're a metalhead.
And I'm a metal guy.
Look at you.
I literally watched any, horror film there was from the time I was like 11 years old on. Never saw it. Now, I will say that like my feelings are probably a little bit different. I think we touched on this when we did Return of the Living Dead. I was, the high school jock guy who, supposedly fit in and all that kind of stuff. So I don't really relate to Skippy from Family Ties as much. I was shocked to see that he was a lead in a movie. So one of my big takeaways from it is I love Gene Simmons in it. I thought he was awesome. I thought the Ozzy stuff was great. I'm a big, believe it or not, Fastway fan who did the soundtrack. Yeah. Say what you will, one of my favorite songs of all time. So as a metal guy, I loved it. I loved all of the aspects of it. I think my big takeaway though was I wish I would have seen it when I was in high school or younger, because I think looking at it now through the lens of kind of the expectations of what we see these days, I thought it was lack of execution, I guess would be what I would call it. Like, to me, the setup was perfect. They had an awesome, bad guy slasher killer, but it just never really hit the mark for me. And don't get me wrong, there were parts of it I really liked, but once they kind of got into it, I had this expectation like, oh my God, this guy is going to be, this is the heavy metal killer I've been waiting to see forever.
Yeah.
And it honestly, it let me down a little bit. I have to say, but
they went campy. The way the movie came about is Dino De Laurentiis after he saw Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Okay.
And that made a lot of money. Not 1, 2. He went to Joel Soisson and somebody else that I forgot who it was, who were involved in Elm Street 2, and said, I want my own Freddy. And all I have is the title Trick or Treat. I want to have it released on Halloween. And my idea is that it's a guy wearing a pumpkin head going from house to house and whacking peeps. So Soisson and his producer weren't too hip to doing just a slasher. So they got, and my notes up, Rhett Topham, who's a screenwriter. He actually also wrote a very similarly themed horror film called 1976 Evil, directed by Robert Englund. So similar thing, you know, geek gets bullied, accesses a supernatural thing, gets revenge, then genie's out of box, he can't put it back in. You know, similar themed film. So Rhett Topham was a headbanger. He came in for his pitch looking like the Mark Price character in Trick or Treat, which was actually named after him because Rhett's middle name is Eddie. I always thought he was named after the Iron Maiden mascot, Eddie. But no,
yeah.
It was his middle name. So he did his pitch about a supernatural rocker. Tone-wise, what he wanted is more like The Exorcist, dark and violent. But then as they developed the film and it was organic, sometimes, you know, as you create something, it takes a life of its own and leads you somewhere. There was nowhere else to go but campy. I mean, the second you have a guy shooting lasers out of his guitar or, you know, coming out of speakers and stuff, you can't take that seriously.
He looked like a guy that would be like this heavy metal killer, right? You know, again, for me, it was just like the letdown was a little bit in the kills and how he did it and that kind of thing. I think if
the kills are dry. The kills are all dry.
Yeah, I think if they would have given him more metal-esque kills, you know, like what you'd see on an album cover or something, it for me, it would have, you know, hit home a lot better. But again, I mean, I think they did a great job with a lot of the elements. He definitely had the look.
Blackie Lawless of Wasp was approached to play Sammy Kerr.
Really?
Yeah. And he's like, all right, cool. Wasp will do the music. But they had already locked Fastway. And they're like, no, you're going to lip sync to Fastway. And he's like, no, fuck that. I'm Wasp, man.
Blackie Lawless ain't doing that.
No,
for sure.
He did not do that. And finally, they realized when they were casting Sammy Kerr that the best way to go about it is because they were looking for rock stars. And the best way to go about it is to find just somebody that looks like a rock star. And Tony Fields, who's actually a Solid Gold dancer. Remember that show, Solid Gold?
Oh, yes.
That's where he came from. He was a Solid Gold dancer. You know, he hit the mark and actually got Ozzy Osbourne's and Gene Simmons' seal of approval because they were like, you know what? You sold it, bro. You sold it as a metal dude, man. Metal frontman.
I actually loved the way they ended the movie. Like, I liked the way that they figured out how to get rid of him. It was just kind of the stuff in between that lacked a little substance for me. And I mean, it's a horror movie, so how much substance are you going to have? And for me to say that is like a little bit ironic. But yeah, I loved him as not only a slasher, but a potential franchise slasher.
Yeah,
I think
it's too bad because actually the movie made money. The movie did make money.
Did it? Yeah.
I think it made. Well, yeah. Go ahead, Lance.
No, I'm asking them what happened. I assumed it bombed. I gotta be honest.
No, it made. Well, I mean, it was a low budget film, so I think it cost like 1.5 or something like that. Don't quote me on it. I didn't research it, so I'm literally pulling that number out of my ass. But I know it made $7 million opening weekend, which doesn't sound like much today. But in the 80s, for a small movie like that, it was a big deal. And even De Laurentiis told Charles Martin Smith, the director, he said, dude, he was really happy and the movie made money. So I have no idea why there was no sequel. I do know that the film then even solidified its cult classic status, if you will, over time with, on VHS and on TV and on DVD. And to this day, I mean, there's Sammy Kerr figurines, custom made, obviously, but, there's enough of an interest in Sammy Kerr. And there was even, they tried to pull the Freddy Krueger thing where, to release a music video in tandem with, the release of the film.
Now it would have made a comeback because I think metal is kind of taking back off, but to your point, if they would have done something, let's say like in, if they would have waited a couple of years and it would have released in 1990, metal was, doing this, it might not have the same audience by any means.
So I was going to say, John made a good point, and I kind of agree. And we might be on the same page. I marked it down because that is such a weird thing. Up until 50 minutes, I actually didn't even think the guy showed up. I thought the whole thing was like a spirit, because there's a part where I wrote my favorite part is when the girls listen to the headphones and, and like, has the green thing. She's just like getting all hot and bothered. She starts taking off her clothes. And then her like melts her brain. I was like, oh, cool. That's what we're going to do. I thought maybe Sammy would be a peripheral, or maybe he'd show up in a mirror or some shit. I actually didn't think we're going to get like a physical entity. Yeah. And up until that point, I think that was a better movie. I kind of agree. I think maybe if it was gorier kills, because it was. I mean, he was just like would shoot people with a guitar and they disappear. I thought that was I was like, are they going to hell? Where are they going?
Oh, they're going to hell, bro. They're going to hell.
That part with the headphones was the best part of the whole movie, but
that scene, as a young man.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Definitely, I was like, okay, that's hot. And actually, I even wrote the girl's name because I'm that guy. She played Ginny.
She was
her
cute.
Name was Elise Richards, her real name. Thank you.
Thank you, Elise.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that scene when I was like 16 or whatever age
I had a tough time getting over Doug Savant being the main
Melrose Place, babe. Come on,
I used to watch him on Melrose Place all the time, so that was a little hard for me. On Melrose Place, he was exactly the opposite of that. He was like the kind of whimpery pretty boy guy. So there was a whole lot going. There was a whole lot going on in Melrose Place. So it was kind of tough to keep track of everybody. So.
And the fact we're talking about that, publicly, and that people know we watch Melrose Place.
I did watch it. Yes, everyone. I watched it religiously. I apologize.
I did too.
Look at Lance. He's looking sideways like I wasn't even born. What is Melrose Place?
Oh yeah. I wish I was that young. I'd have more time ahead of me. Now I remember Melrose Place. I don't know. I wasn't that. No, I didn't watch it. Yeah, wasn't that the spinoff of 90210?
Yeah, it was.
Kind of. Yeah. But it wound up being. It was more like a soap opera. It kind of wound up being much more.
They also soap opera.
Well, 90210 was also a soap opera.
It was, yes, but they went directly to make Melrose like a soap opera.
So. I think you guys are Gen Xers, right? So that's probably during like your peak of youth. Yeah. And they're all probably hot people on that. I don't blame you.
Oh. I remember I grew sideburns when I had hair to emulate Luke Perry.
Like Luke Perry? Yeah, you did that. Yeah. Oh, Brandon Walsh and all those guys.
Yeah, Jason Priestley. Okay, to go back, we're kind of getting.
I thought Gene Simmons for his small part. I hoped he was going to have a bigger part in the movie.
He was a good actor.
He was really good.
Jack, yeah.
Yeah, he was like amazingly
really
good in his performance. Well, and at first I didn't even recognize him, and then I realized it was Gene Simmons. But I was like, wow, he was great.
They offered them the Sammy Kerr role.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and he turned it down because he didn't care for the script that much. But he was like, "Oh, I'll play."
He was really good. He did a great job
too. And Ozzy Osbourne playing a pastor,
right?
Yeah, which is very ironic because
of course
at that time he was going through that.
I remember in those years. I mean, you guys are much younger than I am. I remember parents, not my parents, thankfully, being down at the Civic Center and picketing when Ozzy and Iron Maiden and Sabbath and all these other bands came to town, that it was, this was devil music, man. This was
big time.
This was the thing that was going to destroy the country and turn us all into heathens. And it's so funny to see that now, because if you go to an Iron Maiden show or you go to any of these other shows, there's dads with their kids, they're like 9 years old.
Another little bit of trivia. The guy that played Eddie's, Mark Price's best friend, is actually screenwriter and director Glenn Morgan, who's actually brought on board with James Wong because they've worked together a lot. They had written The Boy Next Door in 1985. It's a good little movie, by the way, guys, if you haven't seen it, directed by Sean Cunningham of Friday the 13th. So anyways, they brought him on board to do uncredited dialogue polish on the film. And then finally they're like to Glenn Morgan, hey man, you want to audition for the role of the best friend? And he did, and he got the role. And I'm pretty sure the only acting gig he's ever done, because he went on to become a director, directed the Willard remake, Black Christmas remake, Final Destination 3. And
seems pretty shady they made him audition for the part.
Well, if you're not an actor,
give it to him.
If you're not an actor and you're a writer-director, although at that time he was just a writer, if I'm correct, I might be full of shit, but I'm pretty sure he was just a writer at that time. So yeah, you audition, see how you look on camera, see if you're able to deliver a line or whatever. Yeah,
he played it well, the dork well, because he was a dorky kid. That's the guy. Yeah, I believed him. Remind me of the kid from Wonder Years.
Were you guys able to follow? Like, here's one of the things I couldn't get from the movie: the girl who was the, I guess, love interest, we'll call her.
Yeah.
And maybe I spaced out or something, but I couldn't ever really figure out how she just kind of showed up at one point. Like, she felt bad for him when he got made fun of or something.
Yeah.
Was that the genesis behind the relationship, or was there something else I missed out on?
I thought she was a part of the popular group that was bullying him, and she was just like the nice one.
And she felt
she was just being nice.
Yeah. I don't buy
that shit happens all the time. Back
in movies, yes, of course. In life, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
No hot girl from like the jock group in 1985 is gonna be like, hey. But I mean, they did try to fucking kill him. I mean, I was like,
in the pool,
the first time it's like it was really mean, throw his naked ass in front of all the hot volleyball girls. And the second time, they're just gonna murder him in the pool. I'm like, nice. That's a step up.
What are you gonna do?
Actually, quick question. As guys who saw it for the first time, and again, Chris, I'm still appalled as a metalhead, and a guy that's older than me, that A, you never heard of it, and B,
I'm shocked.
Seen it.
Yeah.
So, go fuck yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I will.
I know you will. on the box cover, there's this creature, and it's actually named Skizik with a long tongue. He appears in the car with the girl with the headset.
He does show up once in the car scene, right? With the girl.
Yeah, he showed up there, but he also showed up in this weird, which I always found very unsettling, I guess, like a vision of hell, where Sammy Kerr's sitting in the center of like a circle, and I'm not sure what the hell's going on there, but I'm pretty sure Skizik showed up there too, no?
But what cover are you talking about? The cover seems to have the metal guy
with the guitar, and the monster is like right above.
Looks like a pumpkin. He's like playing as a cartoon.
No, that's not the OG poster.
So I didn't see this. Now there's one where it's the monsters. I see what you're saying. I never seen that in my life.
Seeing him once in the car scene, it was almost like the reveal of Alien. You finally saw, like, okay, this is the thing. And I'm kind of going back to what Lance said. If you go through the first half of the movie, you feel like it's going to be this supernatural entity that's going along. You don't know that there's going to be an actual kind of tangible killer. And so I thought the creature was pretty cool, but she obviously freaked out when she's in the whack-off scene, or whatever you want to call it.
Whack-off.
But then he never showed back up, right?
But don't we see him in that flash of Sammy Kerr sitting in the center of a circle? It's like almost looks like a mass. I think it's a dream that
I do not recall that from the
I would trust you, John, though, because I just watched it.
Yeah, so you just watch it. I would trust you.
I mean, but I'm taking a lot of stuff in where like you're paying attention to like little things. There could have been a couple flashes, and I might have been like looking at the fucking guy's eyeliner and been like, why is he wearing eyeliner? I don't know what I missed. But this cover I've never seen until literally right now.
That's the original cover. That's the original cover. So is it safe to assume, because I love the soundtrack by Fastway. I love it. I've killed it. I know. I see Lance's face. He doesn't like.
Hey, I love what you love, man.
I killed it.
I'm happy. I'm happy for you.
And you guys probably don't know the names of the songs, like After Midnight or Trick or Treat, which is the one he plays at the end, or Tear Down the Walls when he rips the posters down. So I was going to ask what was your favorite song from the movie, but I have a feeling I'm going to regret that.
On the negatives, I put all the music and the band at the end. I mean, that was the only thing where I was like, oh man, I was like, God, come on. Like, at the end, he's like playing the song. I was like, okay, maybe this is just gonna be a quick song and they're gonna kill.
No, it's the whole song, bro.
I get to a second chorus. I'm like, holy shit, are we gonna have a bridge? Are we playing the fucking song?
Oh yeah.
It just kept going. And it's like, I wrote down the evil entity was doing cartwheels. And I was like, yeah.
The song that they played when he first comes out to the concert with the kids.
Trick or Treat, yeah,
was like the lamest metal song of all time. Yeah,
knocking for a sweet surprise.
It was awful. Like, if this guy's truly this metal star, and then he's gonna go kill people in this metal star persona, that was kind of bubblegum.
You're an asshole.
What about the other songs? You said you're metalhead.
I actually enjoyed the soundtrack overall. I liked the stuff that they did. I just thought that particular, and I don't dislike that song. I just thought that song for him coming out and getting into the bloodletting was a little bit, underwhelming. It was like a pop song. I want to hear something like from
all of them
Sabbath.
It's kind of pop rock. The whole soundtrack is more pop rock. Yeah.
I think they would have been better off with Blackie Lawless and Wasp doing the whole thing.
that was a thing too, that I always noticed. They brought Tony Phil's solid gold background a little bit too much in the dance moves.
Yes.
Like twirling around and so I thought it was a bit, you wouldn't see, Bruce Dickinson or Vince Neil when he wasn't the Vince Neil of today.
Well, I was gonna say Vince Neil could never do a cartwheel now.
Long time ago. Yeah, long time ago.
Keep on rocking, shout the devil, and do.
So I thought that was a bit out of metal character, if you will. It was more having to do with solid gold. But hey, man, a man can move. I'm gonna end it off on this. I know I'm a bit biased because every time I watch the movie, it brings me back. I remember the first time I saw it on VHS, and I was floored. I'm like, my God, this movie's so awesome. And with my Maiden T-shirt on.
That makes sense.
I think the film is well written. I think the film is stylishly directed. I think the acting is solid. Mark Price is really good. Tony Fields is really good. Actually, everybody's really good. Even Melrose Place dude playing the asshole. Jack.
He's really good at it. Yeah.
The music by Fastway for me, I love. I had the cassette of it. I killed that cassette, dude. Yeah, it went a little campy and cheesy. Elm Street 3, I guess, ish, for the last act. And some gore would have been nice. But overall, they don't make movies like this anymore. That's for fucking sure. So like that shot where Sammy Kerr before the big concert at the end, he's hitting his fist on the side of his leg, schluck, and then everybody starts that. I'll always remember that. When a movie marks me that way, for me personally as a individual, then it's something special.
I actually want to watch it again because I feel like maybe there was stuff that I missed. I'm still amazed that I didn't know it was a movie. I'm shocked, and I'm glad that I watched it. I'm glad that I saw it. I'm a little torn again because I feel like it could have been so much more. But I'd totally put it on the list, and I would absolutely recommend that anybody that likes movies that we talk about that hasn't seen it, watch it for sure, or give it a rewatch. Are there things that I'd change? Absolutely, but that's pretty much any movie. If I hadn't seen Night of the Creeps when I was 20, I'd look at Night of the Creeps the same way, right? That I'm looking at this film through the lens of, and I think that's the only disadvantage. I love the music, I love the killer, I thought, like you guys said, I thought the acting was actually really good for a horror movie. I thought all the performances were great. I'd definitely put it on the rewatch.
Shout Factory or Arrow is going to get a hold of this and do a new scan.
Actually, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was Shout Factory, but I'm pretty sure it was Shout Factory. They tried to release a collector's Blu-ray of it, but the music rights got in the way.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Wonder Years had the same issue when they came on Netflix. That sucks. Because, I guess my big thing is, I just think it needs a little bit of a cleanup. It's a little rough in terms of, I could tell, I watched, an upgraded DVD version, and not that necessarily matters, but I think nowadays we can make a lot of 80s movies look better because I own 100 Shout Factory Blu-rays. So it's I know what they can do. And plus, I think maybe special edition stuff I always get more into, like Shocker. Mm-hmm. I saw a great cleaned up version of that. I watched all the commentary. So I would like to witness this movie.
Guys, gals, if you've seen the movie before, come give it some love below, or some hate if you guys didn't care for it. If you've never seen the movie, has our convo inspired you to check it out, even though you don't like metal? Talk to us. Let us know. You could bet your sweet Patuskis I'll be watching Trick or Treat again come Halloween.
Guys, and also, I think it's a fair thing to say that if you ever have any questions, opinions or stuff for me and John, I always think that kind of stuff is fun to engage with. So, always leave in the comments, and then I think John and I will probably look through them. And then maybe in a couple episodes, we could start maybe ending these episodes with a Q&A here and there.
Well, my favorite color is blue, so I'm just
now it's over. There's no point. John,
I have a Q&A question. Can I ask real quick? Mm-hmm. Lance, do you purchase the shirts minus buttons, or is it just a conscious effort to not connect the buttons correctly?
This is higher than I've gone.
He's being very conservative.
Yeah. So you're buttoned up today? Is that the deal?
Yeah.
Yes.
When you're walking on the beach in Florida, are you just no buttons at all? It's just the shirt and you're wide open.
Yeah. And then I button the bottom 2 if I'm going to a business. You know,
I love that.
The third button I don't really have buttoned up normally. Yeah.
We should all strive for that. That's exactly what we should be doing.
Love you guys. Love you
Cheers,
all.
guys.
Cheers, guys. Till next
Love
time.
to everybody out there. Thank you so much for having me. Arrow on the head. Love you guys.